Hi everyone, Michael here from Shopify. Today we're going to be going over some store reviews and looking at opportunities as well as sharing some general tips. Thank you so much to everyone who submitted their store for review. We had a ton of applications and interest and we're super grateful to everyone who submitted. We randomly selected 5 stores for today, but if your store was not selected, we'll be sharing lots of tips and tricks that will be beneficial for all merchants, so make sure to stick around for that. For today's demo, we'll be focusing on the buyer experience. So with that, let's get started. Okay, so the first store that we're reviewing today is Back to Life. So first impressions, the store loads very well. It's very sleek looking and very professional. So something to note here is that the video thumbnails maybe should be swapped out for something a little bit more high res. So you can see that it's a little bit blurry when you're looking at it. So that could be something worth considering. Something that I do absolutely love here is the section, the featured in. So we have a lot of reputable news sources here like Fox News, Apple, CBS Market Watch, NBC, and Digital Journal. So straight away, the minute someone loads the website and sees these, it establishes that kind of trust that the product is reliable. So this is a great little feature here. Another thing that might be worth taking a look at is the logo itself is really, really nice. But up here on the top left-hand side, the writing for Growlux is a little bit small, so it could be a bit difficult for some website visitors to see. So that could be worth maybe reviewing and seeing if we can get that a little bit bigger for the top left-hand side. For the menu, everything looks great here. A common mistake some merchants do is to make it a little bit too cluttered, but the amount of menu options here looks great. So that looks very, very good. The next thing to have a look at is the different sections that the store has. So, for example, here we have another section where it goes over the product a little bit. So it discusses the natural ingredients, that it's ethically sourced, cruelty-free, and vegan. So again, here's another section that's kind of building up that trust for the customer, the website visitor. So this is another great section to have here. And then also this little sliding section here with the images is really, really great as well, showing the results and kind of some simple writing here as well, explaining. And then we have the call to action button for the product itself. So this is all really, really great stuff. Next, we can take a look at the section then here at the bottom. So we're kind of seeing more of the same, some information about the products, some beautiful pictures here with the different ingredients, and also kind of color matching. So that's really nice here as well. Little section for the money back guarantee. And then here at the bottom, we have the featured products. So something to consider here might be to, in the theme, bring these featured products up a little bit, because you have to do quite a bit of scrolling in order to actually get to them and see the featured products. So while it's great that there's all this information kind of building the trust in the product, it could be better to have the products at a higher point on the homepage, and then if the visitor wants to kind of learn a little bit more, they can scroll down then at that stage. Also, we have a great article here, so you can also enlarge it. So there's another kind of feature that reinforces the reliability of the product, as well as some product reviews. One thing to note is I can see here there is a option for sign up at the footer, which is great. But what a lot of merchants do is they have a feature where a pop-up appears on the homepage to sign up. So the reason this can be great is because, number one, It means that you have the email capture, so they're making a micro commitment in order to sign up for maybe a discount in some cases. And then you do have that email, so you're able to send out marketing to that website visitor who mightn't become a customer just yet. So they might have provided their email address, but they didn't commit to buying a product that time. So you could send them maybe a follow-up with an offer or some information. So it's always great to try and have a little pop-up there so you can capture the email so you can convert the website visitor for the next time. Another thing that we can review is the different policies that the customer has. So the privacy policy we can see here, refund policy, which is great, terms and conditions, and then we have our contact and FAQs. So all this looks great. Something else to consider maybe adding here, which can be done from the settings policies in the admin, is to add in the shipping policy. So this is something a lot of website visitors are kind of curious about when they come and visit a website. They like to know what exactly the shipping policy is. So this could be a great addition here to the quick links at the bottom in the footer. And what some merchants like to do as well is they add a banner up at the top with the shipping policies. So that straight away when someone lands on the page, they can see this information. Another feature that could be great to have for this particular store could be a little pop-up window at the bottom right-hand side. So there's a lot of information here for anyone visiting, but maybe if there's something that a website visitor didn't see from checking out the information on the homepage or from checking out the different links like the FAQs, a great addition to have would be the Shopify Inbox app or another app that provides a little message box basically in the bottom corner. So usually that pops up there on the bottom right, and then in the message box someone can pop in their question, and sometimes you can have preloaded questions. So if a word shows up, then then it will link to a certain FAQ page, or else they can send a message and then you can get back to them quickly. So this can help capture an order for someone who might be a little bit hesitant or might have a question before they commit to buying the product. So this is always great to have. Next, what we can do is navigate to the collection page. So let's have a look here at the shop. So this is great. We can see all the products. It does look like one of the products here is missing an image. So this could be a good opportunity to add an image for that one, so it's displayed for customers when they're looking at the store. And also something maybe worth considering is creating a couple of collections. So for example, doing a collection with the different products included. So for example, here we have the luxury kit, the complete kit, and these two products here seem to have a couple of different products in it. So it could be a good idea to maybe have a collection called kits or something like that, so that the customers can look at the different collections available instead of all the products available at the store. So that could be something worth considering here when it comes to the collections. But other than that, the collection page looks great. So now what we'll do is hop on over to one of the products. So we can take a look here at the Back to Life Grow Looks here, Stimulating Oil and Derma Roller. So let's see here. So first impression of this page is it is absolutely fantastic when we're looking at the information here. So right under the product, we can see some kind of reaffirming statements like the 100% natural ingredients, that it's ethically sourced, cruelty-free, vegan ingredients, which is all really, really great. Also, we see this image here again with the different ingredients and more information as well. The money back guarantee, we can see again. So this is all really, really good stuff. The one thing I would say is that the product description doesn't seem to have too much information at the moment. So it could be a good idea to add a little bit more in here. And what you can do is when you're going into the product, you can use the Shopify Magic feature. So this can kind of generate and suggest a product description for you to use. So this is always great to have when you're kind of thinking of ways to come up for a product description. It can at least be a good starting point that you can customize and edit then if you'd like. Another thing is it's great to see that the option for reviews is there, but there aren't any reviews as of yet. So maybe you can have a look at sending out an email to customers to encourage a review after a product is purchased, after they place an order, to see if you can kind of increase some of the reviews there, because this can be a great addition to have some reviews reaffirming the kind of reliability of the product. So great to see that the reviews are there. And then maybe having a couple of reviews from customers will be super helpful as well. So the images look great as well. So this is all very good stuff. It looks very professional. So yeah, it looks like a good product page overall. So next, what we'll do is we'll hop on over to the policy pages. So we've discussed that a little bit. So we can see we have the privacy policy, the refund policy, and the terms and conditions. So we already mentioned that the shipping policy could be a great addition down here. Also, we can have a look up at the top and see the About Us. So again, it's a really beautifully presented page. Some nice images here. A nice little paragraph about the story, which is always great to see. And also a bit of information about the products and the results again. So this is all fantastic. So this all looks very, very good. And then we can take a look at the contact, perfect, and FAQs. Okay, great. So this is all very, very good. Okay, so we'll take a look here in the privacy policy, because one thing I did notice was you have the privacy policy here, which is great, but it looks like the template hasn't been filled out as of yet. So we can see the sections here, for example, where the privacy policy information needs to be filled out. So that can be something worth taking a look at in settings policies. And then if you go into the specific privacy policy, you can edit and update it from there and save, and then have it specific to your store. And then you can see we have a blog post here as well. So the only thing I would say is, as there's one blog post at the moment, it could be better to create a couple and then add all of the blog posts, or else it maybe decide not to have blog posts at all. So that could be a good idea. So instead of having the one there, maybe decide to add them on a weekly or monthly basis, kind of start building up those blog posts, which are fantastic for SEO, and a free way to kind of gain some more traffic to the store. So this all looks great here. So we have a story about one of the customers. This is really great here as well. Okay, perfect. So the last thing that we're going to do is go on to one of the products and just add it to cart, go through the checkout experience. Okay, great. And this all looks good to me. So overall, this is a very, very nicely laid out store, and some really, really great product images. And also, again, love this featured in section here, all the kind of sections to build the trust in the store. This is all really, really great. So well done. Nice job. And now we will move on to our second store. The next store we're taking a look at is cashcardleather.com. So the first impression of this store is that it's a little bit busy. So the first thing that happens is you get a pop-up for an email address and first name and last name, which is great to have. But maybe see if this could be a little bit smaller, as it takes up the whole of the homepage. So that's one thing that I noticed here as you navigate to the website. Also, the colors, the orange and black, may be a little bit difficult for some customers or website visitors to read. So maybe if there was a lighter version of the orange, this could make things a little bit easier for those with accessibility issues, that they may find it a little bit tougher to read that orange and black. Also, when we're going through the images here, we can see that some of them are a little bit blurry. So maybe finding images that have the correct definition so that they're a little bit sharper. And also, when looking at the menu here, the main menu, it's a little bit difficult to see unless you're kind of hovering over it. It's a little bit difficult to see what the writing says. So with that, the logo is very, very nice. It's a great logo here with the name of the company, like the little eagle here as well, and the American made. So that's perfect. So the main menu, as we mentioned, was a little bit difficult to see. So maybe consider having it so that it's always this color, so it doesn't kind of switch between the image and the different color. But another thing that can be done as well is to consider making it a bit larger and boldening it so it's a bit easier for some people to see. The sections that we have up here, or the menu items, apologies, that we have up here are great. So we have our home, our collections, the products, custom work, which is a great kind of unique one to have for this store as well. So reach out. So we have our contact us, meet the craftsman, which is a very unique take on the about us page as well. So that's fantastic. Product origins, and then the FAQ. So all of this looks great. So let's take a look here at the different sections of the homepage. So we have a bit of information here about the lead times. So that's good to have. This can also work well as a message at the top of the homepage. So we could add in a banner. For example, let's customers or website visitors know that the lead time is currently 2 to 4 weeks, and then that way it kind of stays there as you navigate to different pages. So that could be another option as well. This is nice as well. The buy once, get support for life, no questions asked. So this could maybe work as a little section of its own, maybe with a different background color a little bit further down. But it's a great section to have to kind of build that trust with the brand. So definitely worth keeping. So having a look here at the featured product, this looks good, and we have a little bit of a description here as well. The different. So one thing I would say is when you're navigating, the product images are different sizes, so it could be worth going into this product and just resizing the images so they kind of maintain the same size throughout. This could be a little bit more visually appealing as you're navigating between the different product images. So here we have our collections, which is great. So we have our featured products, our bags, our wallets. Perfect. And then we have some great reviews as well from customers, which is good to see. And an Instagram page. So that's always good to have, social media. Let me see here. So the YouTube videos is a really great feature to have here as well. I'm having a look through these. And this is a unique selling point for this store as well, I would say. So you can kind of link to these, and different customers can have a look and see how their products are made and everything like that. So this is a unique kind of selling point for the store. So that's always good to have. Then looking at the footer, so we see a terms of service, but there doesn't seem to be any other store policies. So, for example, the privacy or shipping policy might be good to have here. Maybe an FAQ page can be linked, a contact us page from the header. So these are good to have because the privacy policy kind of lets customers know exactly how the store operates, how they store the data. Then a lot of website visitors and customers are curious about shipping policy as well. So this is always good to have, so they kind of know what to expect in terms of shipping. And it prevents any kind of miscommunication. So this could be a good feature to have, as well as the lead times up here at the top. So the contact us page at the top is called Meet Our Craftsman. So it's an interesting way to put it, but it could be a little bit confusing. So it could be better to maybe have contact us in the, as mentioned, to avoid any confusion, or maybe have Meet the Craftsman and then a separate contact us page. So this is a nice picture here of the founder, a little bit of information. It looks like there's a button label here, so this maybe needs to be linked to a certain page or removed. It seems to not have a purpose, so that could be something good to have a look at. Then as we navigate back to the home page, we can see that there is a contact us page down here, or a little chat function, which is great to see, and also some preloaded questions. So that's fantastic. So for example, we can see what is your shipping policy. So this is great to see. For example, we do have a shipping policy, a detailed shipping policy. So it's just a matter of adding this to the footer as another source, a place to have that. So this is all good to see. Also, another feature that could be good to add for this store would be a favicon. So, for example, we can see here for the first store we discussed, the favicon is up here on the top left. So it's just a little image that people can see in the tab that represents the store, and it could be a good way to kind of differentiate the store as well. So that's always a great feature to have. Also, it could be good to add in a cookie banner. So this is good for website visitors who might be coming from California or European visitors to make sure that they consent to their data being collected. So this can be done through one of the apps available on our App Store. So Shopify has an app available specifically for this, and also it can be set up in the online store section of the admin. So next, we're going to navigate to the collections page. So let's see here. Let's take a look at the collections. So here we can see that the merchant has a bags collection, featured products and wallets. So that is good to see. And also, when we go into this, you can see the different images, and they're also in sync, all the same size, so that's good also. Then we have our wallets. That looks good too. And then lastly, I think we skipped over the featured, so just have a look through those here. So the only small piece of feedback I would have for the collections would be to maybe make the backpack images similar to the wallet images, because they do kind of stand out a little bit, or they do look a little bit different. So it could be a nice idea to, instead of having the backpacks on a model, it could be nice to have them against a similar background, like on a table or that type of thing, like the wallets in the collection, and then they'll kind of look a little bit more in sync. So they'll all kind of they'll all look similar to each other, because they do, the backpack images kind of stand out a little bit, and the bum bag. So for example, like this one here, it could be nice to have them all in a kind of a similar format. But other than that, the collections pages look great. So what we can do is next take a look at a random product. So let's see here. Okay. So from looking at the product page, we can see that there's a good description. It's nicely laid out. We have the option to add the initials as well, which is a nice feature. And then we have some great product images also. So maybe similar to the collections, it could be a good idea to find a way to display them a little bit differently. So against a different backdrop, as opposed to kind of in someone's hand. Could be a nice way to do it. And then also, depending on the theme that's being used, it might be a little bit difficult to load all the images based on the computer or device that the website visitor is using. So something that could work well here is maybe a carousel feature, so they can filter through all the different products instead, or their product images. Also in the product description, something that could work out well is leaning into what makes the product such a quality or luxury product, so that the buyers will understand the price point. So I think this is something that's done very well in the homepage. So maybe incorporating some of the information from there, or information that can be found in the YouTube videos to kind of let them know why these are such high quality products. So maybe again using Shopify Magic on the product page can give you a little bit of a helping hand with this if you provide some prompts. It can provide some suggestions that you can now either use or edit or customize. So other than that, everything looks great here. It could be a good idea to maybe add in a little section that goes over the shipping or the returns for the product, so the customers are aware of this. But other than that, everything looks very good. So the next thing that we're going to go over is the pages on the website. So as mentioned in the footer, when we were discussing that initially, it could be a good idea to add in some pages here other than the terms of service. So, for example, shipping policy, return or refund policy, privacy policy, which can all be done from the policy page in the settings. So if we take a look at the terms of service, we can see that some of what I've mentioned is covered in the terms of service, like the shipping is here, refund and exchanges, but it might be a good idea to make these into their own links, because in a lot of cases, website visitors won't navigate to the terms of service to kind of go looking for this information. They would expect it to be on a page of its own. So the other thing I would say is the pages here at the top look great. It's just a perfect amount, I think, as well. So we have our collections, all products, the homepage, custom work, reach out, meet the craftsman, product origins, and FAQ. So actually, I think I mentioned something about a contact us page earlier. It looks like we do have one here. I must have completely missed this. So it looks like we do have the contact us. So that's great to see. And then we have our FAQ, a little bit of information. So all this looks great. So the last thing we'll do is have a quick look at the checkout. So of course I pick a product that's not available. So let's see here. We'll add the red wallet. Okay. Perfect. So the checkout here looks good also. Maybe you can see you're using the one-page checkout, which is great. I believe that has a 33% higher conversion rate. So don't quote me on that exact number, but that's great to see. That should really help with the conversions. Maybe one thing to consider here is that the checkout page is a completely different color to the rest of the website. So maybe having that sync up a little bit more so it matches in terms of branding. So that can be done from the theme customizer if you were looking to consider that. Okay, perfect. So that's everything we have time for this store. So we'll move on to the next store on our list, which is Hiccups Children's Boutique. So the very first impression of this store is it's got some lovely petals, and it's very sweet, very bright. There's some beautiful pictures here in the hero image. So that's always great to see. So another thing that we notice here is that the logo, it's very, very nice logo, but similar to the first store we discussed, the text here for Children's Boutique is a little bit small, so we can maybe consider accessibility and making the logo a little bit bigger, or maybe consider removing that text and just having hiccups, something like that. So the next thing that we can look at here is the banner. So we can see here that it features some images of babies, which fits the theme, but it might be a better idea to reconsider to have several large images instead of a collage. So it would look maybe a little bit more polished if you're kind of cycling through those images as opposed to them being within the same hero banner. So that's just a thought on that. Then we can see here that in this section that we have the different categories. So we have the girls, boys, and unisex. So that's good to see. Maybe consider resizing the images so that they match here as well. So it looks a little bit more uniform, similar to the section down here for events, which looks very polished. And new arrivals as well could do with maybe the images all being a little bit more in sync. So the next thing we'll have a look at is the main menu. So we have new arrivals, girls, boys, unisex, by product type and occasion. So this is all great to see. So something that may be worth considering is adding a contact or about us page. So instead of having the different collections here, adding those in instead, so it doesn't become too kind of blocked up, and then having a featured collections section a little bit lower down here. So maybe removing the amount of collections from the main menu up here to make a little bit of room for some of the other menu items that would be expected up here. So the next thing I would say is that in the footer, we do have a lot of the information that was discussed, so or that was mentioned. So the about us, reviews, brands, blog, FAQ, and contact. So that's great. And also the shipping policy, return policy, privacy in terms of use. So as a lot of people who visit a website don't tend to navigate to the footer, this could be good to have up at the top instead, especially the likes of the about us or the contact page. So that's something worth considering there for that one. And then also it could be a good idea to add in the blog at the top in the main menu, so that people can kind of see it the minute they navigate to the website, and they can have a look at it from there. Another thing that could be good to add would be section for leaving an email. So this is typically found in the footer, and as mentioned during some of the other reviews, it can be used as a pop-up. So when someone navigates to the website, a little pop-up appears, and maybe you can offer a 10% discount for first-time subscribers, that kind of a thing. And then that way you have the email capture and you can use that towards marketing in the future. We can see that there is a live chat feature here, which is good to see. Maybe make this not a huge thing, but maybe see if we can change the color, make it a light pink or something that matches up with the theme or the color of the store. It's great to see the different options here. So we can have a look. There's the return policy, for example. So that's good to have, so that if people have any questions while navigating the website, they can just pop into that chat. So next we're going to navigate over to the collections page. So let's take a look at the new arrivals. Okay, so first impression, this looks very good. We have all the different products here. Again, it could be a good idea to sync up the images so that they're all, or resize the images so they're all the same size. So it'll just look a little bit more polished and professional. Also for this first image here, looks like there is something in the, like a magnifying glass on the image on the top left. So that might just be from a screenshot or something. So just maybe having a look and seeing if there's another product image available on that very first image, if you look over here. And also it could be a good idea to have the images in the same style if possible. So it would be great to have cohesive images so they all kind of look nice together when they're displayed in a collection. So for example, this hat here has a nice white background like a lot of the other images, whereas this one has while it's a nice background with the flowers and everything, it could be good to have it matching the rest of the images. So if you do have an image with a white background for this particular hat, it would just be a matter of making it the main image for the product, and then it should display in the collection page like the rest of the products. So let's see. Another feature that would be great here is it does depend a little bit on the theme that's being used, but it doesn't look like there's any kind of filtering option for this collection page. So that's something that can be added for the store, and then that way we actually have our own app called Search and Filter that can be used, and then that way you can have some kind of specific conditions. You can add in some filtering where you can filter by the different colors or girls or boys or unisex sizes, that type of thing. So that could be maybe a nice thing for website visitors to be able to do when they're navigating their collection. So let's take a look at one of the products. So let's see here. We'll go into, we did quickly navigate to this one, so we'll choose a different one. So let's have a look at the Christmas pajama. Okay, so the product images look very good. It's nice carousel, nice navigation. You can add in your personalization here as well, which is good to see. And we have the different sizes. So typically the product description is found here under the title of the products. So we can see here there's a description down under the image. So it's okay to have it there. Usually the eye wanders to under the product image. That's typically where it's found. So that could be something to consider. It's great to see that a shipping policy and returns policy has been added to the product page. So the website visitor can expand that to have a look and see. And we also have the option for reviews as well. So like the other store we were discussing, you can consider adding this or incorporating this as part of the notifications or the emails you send out to see if people would like to provide a review after they receive their order. And we found this to be a helpful way to increase the amount of reviews for products. Perfect. So other than that, everything looks pretty good. It also looks quite clean and well designed. So a common issue that a lot of merchants run into is making it a little bit too cluttered on the product page. But this looks very clean. There isn't kind of too much to digest here as you go on the page. And also, as I mentioned, with the shipping policy and the returns, it's good that these can be expanded if needed. So it's not too much kind of clutter on the page. Another thing that could be considered for this is adding in a related products area. So you can put in a section where, for example, you can have similar products kind of here at the bottom somewhere that someone can navigate to from that product page. So this can be done in the theme settings. And then also another section, so we have the shipping policy and the returns policy. So another section that could be maybe good to add in here would be the care instructions, for example, for the product. So maybe we incorporate some of this into care instructions and then add a little bit more of a product description with the help of Shopify Magic, or you can write up your own one to go through the product in a bit more detail. Perfect. So the next thing that we'll have a look at is the policy pages. So we did mention this briefly at the start. So it's great to see that we have a lot of the pages typically found on a store here in the footer. So as mentioned earlier, it could be a good idea to add some of these into the main menu instead, and then incorporate some of the existing menu items into the home page, or even creating a collections page and then having girls, boys, unisex, that kind of thing, occasions within the collections page. So it's not too much and you're not kind of being overwhelmed by collections at the start when you're on the menu page. So let's have a look at some of these pages. So for About Us, this looks great here. It's a really nice sweet image as well. So maybe something worth considering is adding a little bit more information here. So you can see there's 2 paragraphs. So maybe expanding on the About Us page a little bit more. But other than that, it looks good. And then for the contact, so we have a contact number and we have a form. Something to maybe consider would be adding in an email address here. That could be a good idea. And then let's have a look here at the shipping policy. Possibly a spelling mistake here. So continental US, that could be updated. You can see some of the shipping options are available upon request. So international shipping available upon request. So this is something that can be incorporated into the shipping. So it can just be automatic. The shipping settings can be set up to have whatever rates it is you require. So that's something maybe you could reach out to Shopify support about to have a discussion around to see how that can be best set up to suit your store. And then that way it doesn't kind of need to be an upon request type thing. It can just be part of the shipping when someone from another country, international, tries checking out. They should be able to just kind of do so with the rates that you've set and that you want. Other than that, it looks good. And then the last thing we'll do, as we've done with the other products, is or the other stores, I should say, is we've added in a random product. Let's see. So added that to the cart. Perfect. Looks good. Okay, great. So the checkout looks good here. All the different options. And then here we have a good example of a store checkout that is in sync with the rest of the website layout. So we have the kind of light pink hue here and the logo up the top. So I believe I mentioned this as feedback for some of the other stores. So this is a store that's done a great job of this, of kind of having it match across the website with the checkout included as well. Okay, perfect. So next we're going to navigate over to Classique. So let's take a look here. So the first impression of this store is that it has a very clean and professional look. So the hero image here is great. We have different options kind of showing up as well. So maybe something that might be worth thinking about is removing the reviews that kind of pop up here on the top right, as they come across as a little bit of a distraction. So this could be something maybe worth considering removing, because the website's visitors' eyes are constantly being drawn to the reviews up there in the top left. So it could be better to have them as a section on the store instead, maybe. So a thing that I noticed up here straight away as well was that the store advertises free shipping and returns, which is something I believe I mentioned for some of the previous stores. So this is excellent to see that the top up here has the free shipping. So the website visitor sees that straight away and is aware of what the policies are around that. So the next thing is the menu. So the menu looks great. Again, very professional looking. Also a shout out to the behind the scenes section. That's a fantastic idea. Very unique as well. A unique kind of selling point. So that's good to see. We navigate down to the About Us section. So one thing I would say about this is it's a little bit small, maybe a little bit difficult to see. So maybe consider making the font a little bit larger. The same would go for the main menu as well. Maybe consider boldening the text up here at the top, or making it a little bit larger for the visually impaired. But other than that, it's a nice About Us section. So this Marilyn Monroe section is very well done as well. The little call to action also. And then we have our categories, which is good to see. So while all of this looks very professional and well done, something maybe worth considering is simplifying the homepage a little bit. So it might be a little bit much for website visitor to scroll through. So it could be a good idea to decide what the most important parts of this homepage are, or which sections it is you would like to retain, and then narrowing it down to maybe 4 or 5 sections so it's not too much to scroll through. So for example, here we're kind of going through a lot of different products to kind of get down to the bottom of the page, whereas this section here looks very interesting, the journal section, and could be maybe better to have a little bit further up as part of a more curated homepage. So the next thing that I see here is there's a cookie section, which is good to see. So you have that button there that confirms, and it's not too imposing as well. It's kind of just there in the bottom right. And then you can see there's an offer here. Maybe the only thing I would suggest is it's a little bit hidden by the chat function. So seeing if maybe that could be done as a pop-up instead when you first land on the page, instead of having it hidden behind the chat function, or seeing if maybe the chat function can be moved somewhere else so they're not sitting on top of each other. But with that said, it's great to see this option here for an email sign up, and that was mentioned in some of the previous stores, and then we have it here in the footer as well. So the footer, actually, while we're on that topic, looks great, and there's a good amount of options there. It's not too cluttered or busy looking either, so it's a good job here on the footer, and also to have the email capture as part of the footer as well as in the bottom left hand side. And then we have a store here that has the terms of service, the privacy policy, refund, shipping, option to contact, and the sitemap as well. So looks like all the policies are covered there in the footer. So that's great to see. And then, as we touched on, we have the chat function here. It looks to be Shopify inbox. And then we have our option to write a message or track the order. So that's good to see as well. And then, as mentioned, we have the cookie banner. So that's a really great feature to have to make sure that the website visitors have provided their consent for the cookies. This is especially important in locations such as California or in Europe, with laws around this. So next, we're going to have a look at the collections page. So let's have a look here. So from looking at the collections, it looks like some of the images aren't aligned. For example, here we have one that's a little bit smaller than the rest. So having kind of a similar style for the images could be beneficial. The feature up here with the different collections is fantastic. It's a very nice way to lay it out and have all the different options available. So this is fantastic, and you can very easily navigate to the different collections. Then we have our categories on the side here, which is great to see. And then we have the option to sort. So that's good to see here. So the website visitor can easily look at the products that they want to view. So that's a good feature that's available for the store's collections. Something to maybe consider would be to remove the reviews from the collection page. It might be a little bit too much. So it could be better just to kind of keep the collections on their own without having reviews there. So somewhere where the reviews can be very beneficial could be, for example, on the home page or on the product page. But we don't want to overdo it at the same time as well by having it on the collection page and then kind of popping up on the on the top right hand side as well. So that could be something to consider. So next we're going to look at the products page. So let's have a look at this. So from looking at the product, first impression is this is a very professionally laid out product page. We have our title up here. We have our discounted price or compare at price. We have our taxes and then a link to the shipping, which is excellent. Nice image here as well. And then we have our description and then some options to check out securely, as well as again, a reminder of the free shipping, customer service, and the premium quality. So this is all really, really great stuff. And also kind of helps build up that trust for the website visitor in the brand. Then we also have a little you may also like section with some featured products. So similar products that the website visitor can navigate to. So that's great to see. So maybe something worth considering adding could be, we have our reviews here, so maybe adding in another section with the care instructions, for example, or the materials. So that could be worth maybe adding in here as another kind of a drop-down section. But other than that, it looks like a really excellent product page. So the next thing we'll go over, which we've kind of touched on a little bit already, is the different pages for the store. So the first one we'll take a look at here is behind the scenes. So this is a nice hero image or animation here. It's a little bit blurry, it looks like, so maybe consider making it a little bit smaller or finding a sharper version of this. And then again, for behind the scenes, maybe making the text a little bit larger, easier to read. But other than that, it's a very nicely laid out and unique page as well. Maybe for this person here, seeing if you can get a regular photo as opposed to an Instagram, so it kind of matches up with the rest of the staff members. But this is a really, really nice page here. So maybe a little bit of information about the team could be added in as well. This could be a good feature. And then next we can take a look at the contact page. So it's good to see there's a bit of information on the contact page. So we have an email here and also a 24-hour response time, contact number, also Instagram. So this is all great to see. And then a contact form. So maybe it's not a super important thing, but maybe having a bit of a more simplistic layout here. So even just having email and then info at Classique and then contact number, availability Monday to Friday 9 to 5, that kind of a thing. It doesn't need to kind of have a lot of text, but this is only a minor bit of feedback here on that. Other than that, everything looks good. And then we can take a look at the shipping policy here from the footer. So this looks good. The only thing I would say is maybe breaking it up a little bit. Again, it's a little bit small, a bit hard to read maybe for some. So breaking it up into 2 or 3 paragraphs could be beneficial here, but other than that, everything looks good. Then for the refund policy, this looks good. Just having a read through it here. So this could actually be a good way to organize the shipping policy, because the bullet points makes it kind of very easy to read and digest. So it could be a good way to align the shipping policy as well. And then for the privacy policy, everything looks good so far. Perfect. So this looks good to me. And then we'll have a look at the terms of service. So a thing that I really like straight off the bat here with this page is the different headers for the sections. So it makes it a lot easier to read and digest. It looks like maybe some of the editing was missed when applying this. So, for example, link to refund policy. So maybe just having a look in settings, policies, and just making sure that everything is in sync. Everything has been edited to make sure you have the right links and everything. But in terms of layout, it looks great here. So that's a good job with the refund policy, or apologies, with the terms of service. So the last thing we'll do here for this store is have a look at the products. So we'll add something into the cart, as we've done with the other stores. So let's see here. So again, just a quick reminder about the reviews that kind of popped up here and blocks out the cart. So it could be a good idea to keep the reviews to the home page or the product page, so it's not kind of being up and blocking stuff or drawing attention away for customers. But other than that, the cart drawer looks good, and checkout looks good. Seems to match up with the branding as well, as with the previous store, and so that's great to see. It looks like this image here is a little bit blurry, so maybe consider finding an image that matches that will work as a hero image. But other than that, that's a good checkout. So perfect. So we'll move on to our last store, which is our trending. So the first thing I would say about this store is that it's got a very nice, clean look. Great to see the banner being used here as well for Black Friday sale. So the only thing I would mention is it seems to be a little bit broad in scope. So what I mean by that is seems to be a lot of different products from different categories. So what could be beneficial is actually finding a niche or a certain segment of or section of products and deciding to sell those. Because what can happen sometimes, maybe if you're advertising on a sales channel like Facebook, for example, or Instagram, something like that, the person who follows through from that sales channel and comes to your website might be expecting a certain type of website or certain types of products, and then when they see that it is this broad, it mightn't be what they're expecting. So it could be a good idea to make it a little bit more niche. So that would be the first impression here. So another thing I noticed is that there isn't a favicon for this store, and there's no logo either. So these could be good things to add, so that up here we would have a favicon, so the person visiting would kind of see the branding of the store straight away in the tab, and then also a logo is great for building the trust of the brand, and it's very common for websites to have as well. So this can be actually created within the Shopify settings. Then the next thing to have a look at is the main menu. So here we can see there are some different collections. So that's good to see. The one thing I would say is it could be a good idea to add in some other pages, such as the About Us, contact, or a blog, for example, which are typically found up here at the top. Then the next thing we can do here is have a look through the different sections. So we have the link to all the products, so that's good to see. Then we have our featured products, and then a little bit about the store, and then the reviews. So maybe consider adding in some more sections here. It's good to see the reviews on the homepage. There's a great place to have them. But maybe instead of having the collections all up here at the top, you can have maybe, for example, one tab. I think I mentioned this before as feedback. One tab with collections, and then you can have them within those, within that page, the different collections. We could even add in featured collections section here as well. So that could be something good worth adding in. Also, we can see here in the footer that the email capture is there, so that's great to see. Could be good to have initially as a pop-up as well, as not a lot of website visitors navigate to the footer to kind of look for this. So it could be good to have initially when you land on the website. But great to see that the email is there, and it's very prominent as well. So something else that's worth mentioning is that there isn't any link to a blog or anything like that. So I'm not sure if this exists at the moment, but something that this store could benefit from would be to have maybe a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly blog. You can do features on the different products, things like that, or you could do a blog for holiday gifts, especially if you have a wider range of products. There's a lot of different options you'd have available in terms of blogs. So this could be a great way to get attention and gain traction for the website. So another thing worth mentioning is in the footer, we do have our About Us and Contact. So these would be great to add up to the top menu. And then also adding in some of the policies will be good here, such as the shipping policies, privacy, terms of use, that kind of a thing. So if they haven't been created, you can do this in your settings in the admin. And for English stores as well, there's a tool that automatically generates them for you. So you can just simply edit the template, so it doesn't take too long. Then the next thing I would mention is that there is a live chat here on the bottom right. So that's great to see. It looks like it's Shopify inbox as well. Something that could be good to add, so there is that track my order option. Something that could be good to add as a page, and also here would be an FAQ. So you can add a couple of common questions that maybe you notice filtering through. Typically, they tend to be around shipping and returns and that kind of stuff. So whatever you're kind of seeing a lot of website visitors asking, you can add in as an instant answer. So that could be worth adding in here for this store. And then also, as mentioned with some of the previous stores, cookie banner would be good to add in to make sure that the website visitor consents. But yeah, other than that, it looks good here for the home page. So next we'll take a look at the collection. So we're looking at the winter products. So straight away, something that I noticed was that all the images are matching here in the collection page. So that's great to see. It looks very clean. So the only thing I would say about the images is that they don't seem to be in the same kind of style. So there's kind of a lot of information going on there in the images. For example, with this one here, these two in the middle, there's kind of a lot of information contained within the image itself. So if you do have your own product available, it could be worthwhile to take some product images yourself and then kind of align them so that they're all the same across the board, and that will give it an even more kind of a clean, polished look. So also, if you are getting these products from a drop shipper or a supplier, for example, a good best practice would be to test them out first yourself, and then you can, as mentioned, take your own photos, and you can even use some tools to kind of change up the background and things like that and make them look really nice. So the next thing I would say here about the collections is we have our filters, so that's good to see. It's not going to make too much of a change with the collection page of 4 products, but let's take a look here. So we can see our dates, best selling, and we can filter them that way. So particularly with collections with quite a number of products, this is a great feature to have and for website visitors to use as well. So next we'll take a look at one of the products. So let's go to this first one here, the electric window scraper. So this looks good here. Looks like there's no description of the product, so this could be something worth adding in through Shopify Magic. And this little GIF here is good to see. Maybe if this is the product description, maybe moving it up. The eyes tend to kind of look under the title, so maybe moving that up and adding a little bit more information. And then also, it's typically a best practice not to have any text in the product images. So as mentioned before, if you could create your own product images, this would really help with giving the products kind of a more polished and professional look, as I was mentioning before. So that looks good here. There's also another product that I noticed earlier that I wanted to take a look at, which was this one here. So one thing I wanted to just touch on and mention was this could be an intentional thing. It could be a play on words, but we can see here the product title is spelled Headet, gloves. So it could be a little bit confusing for people visiting the website because they might believe it's a misspelling as opposed to it saying heated gloves. It looks like it might be a typo. So if it is purposeful, if it's a little bit of a play on words, it might be worthwhile considering changing the wording of it, just to make sure it doesn't look like a mistake or a typo when people are on the website and having a look. So for the color as well of this product, it says style 3. So as this isn't a color, it doesn't it looks a little bit confusing for people on the page. So maybe changing this to black, or even removing this variant, since there only is one color, would make it look a little bit better for people on this product page. And also, as mentioned for the other product, maybe moving up the description to just under the title and using something like Shopify Magic on the product page, the little sparkly option there, to generate the product description. And then you can kind of edit that as needed. So it just provides a little bit more information for the people on the website. So the next thing I would say is it's great to see the customer reviews here for the product, and also the feature products you may also like. That is a great feature to have there on the product page. So yeah, I can see there is some information here, but maybe considering removing the images under the description, kind of simplifying it a little bit and moving that under the title could be helpful here. Also adding in some of the information from the images as additional areas. So from what we saw in the other stores, we had that little kind of drop down that you could expand. You could add in this kind of information that's in the image, so it's not looking too kind of cluttered there when you're looking at the image. So you could put in your waterproof and windproof and the degrees and everything like that. Could work really well as a little kind of an expandable option here. So the next thing we'll do is we'll take a look at the pages. So as mentioned previously, it doesn't look like there are any policy pages, so it doesn't seem to be shipping or privacy returns, that kind of thing. So this would definitely be worthwhile adding in from the policies page in the settings, terms of service as well. So these are definitely very, very useful and helpful to have, because it's something that customers or website visitors will be looking out for. So adding these in will kind of help build that trust and reliability in the store, so they know their questions are answered and they know what to kind of expect in terms of policy. So what you could do as well, as mentioned in the beginning when we're looking at the homepage, is add that contact and about us. They're okay to keep here in the footer, but they could be a useful addition up here at the top, as opposed to the different collections, so people kind of know where to find that information. So then lastly, since we're already on this page here, we'll quickly add the product to the cart. We have our drawer here. That looks good, and it looks like there's a link for shipping, so we'll quickly have a look here. So yes, there does seem to be a shipping policy, so it would just be a matter of linking that in the footer. So there should be a help center document on how you can link the policies in the footer that you can check out. It looks good here. Maybe consider for visibility or accessibility, making these sections here with the capitalized letters bold, so it's a little bit easier to read. But Other than that, it looks good. So let's check out here. Perfect. So everything looks good when it comes to the checkout. And also, again, actually, from looking at the checkout, we can see there's refund policy, shipping, privacy, and terms of service. So for the refund policy, it looks like the template just needs to be edited. Shipping, we had a look at. Privacy, from a quick scan through this, it looks good, but maybe just having a look through that to make sure that there's no sections in the template that need to be edited. And we have our privacy, and this looks good as well. Perfect. And then terms of service. Okay, so it looks like we have a similar situation here where some of the links and the templates just need to be added in for the terms of service, some of the business information, but great to see that these policies are here and we have them at the checkout. So it's just a matter of then adding them into the footer and making them a little bit more visible for customers, so they know what to expect. So that's all of the stores. So now we will head back. Thank you so much for attending. And of course, thank you so much to the 5 stores who participated in today's review. Feel free to check out our community post for any of the resources discussed. Also, if you'd like to have your store reviewed, this can be done by our community members on our community feedback form. That's it for today's webinar. Thank you and goodbye.